Your instructions you'll find on the What Happened Today slides, and this is the one that I'll be referencing. You'll also find the instructions in Schoology. The same information that you see on the slides are also going to be here. Therefore, you have two places to look for the information. What you are going to be doing is you are going to be reading these four segments. They're extremely short. They're summaries from the textbook, and they are focusing on the national legislature is the first title here, but they all have to do with Congress. And you'll notice that there's reading on the top and there's a graphic on the bottom. You don't need to worry about the questions on the bottom, although the questions could guide you onto what you're exactly writing about, but you are not turning these in. These are not being submitted, these questions. What you will be submitting is your completed infographic that you'll be creating based on the reading. So follow along. It's not that confusing. It's looking at each of these readings by section. One of the things that's mentioned on here is that you are going to be using Canva. So canva.com, you're going to be using a template on there. Do not create from your own, from scratch. It's going to make more work for you. Have Canva do the work for you. That's the beauty with canva.com. And let's get to Canva. Canva, once you go to canva.com, this is what it will look like on the top. If you don't see your icon automatically signing you in, go ahead and you can log in. But you'll notice that when I type here infograph, automatically auto-populates at the bottom. I do need to point out to you though, you need to make sure that you have templates checked. I did have a student earlier that had your projects clicked and they couldn't find anything that they were looking for. And that's what was causing the problem. Now, when you open up infographics, you are going to have so many here to pick from. It's frankly, it's overwhelming. Okay. But your goal is to look for something that has four set up on it. Make your life easier. This one, yeah, you could choose it. It looks nice, but you're going to have to move too much around on this one, on this first page here. This one's better. This one has four. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. This one has 5, and it doesn't have a lot of room for text. Do not choose this one. This one's just too complicated to start moving stuff around. I have used this one as an example. So I started one here, but I will choose a different one to give an example. So you'll see once I started switching some stuff up on it, this is what it looked like. And then this is what I started to make it look like based on what the information was. Again, this one has a timeline, too many changes on this one. So don't make more work for yourself. Pick something that has four pieces on it, and it'll make it so much easier for you. Let me see. That one has 4. Maybe I'll go back to that one. This one has 5. Actually, oh, you know what? This one has 4, and it actually says 4 in the title. So I'm going to click open this one. I'm going to make it bigger so I know what I'm working with. So it says 4 strategies for marketing analytics. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm talking about Congress, right? So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to give this a new title. And I have a new title. Okay, there is a graphic up here, but this isn't relevant to the topic. So I'm going to go back over here to remind you your instruction. Use canva.com for template. Title that appropriately reflects the topic, which is what I just changed it to, Congress. Element by title that symbolizes your topic. So I need to add a title. I need to add an element. So on this tab over here is element. I'm going to type in Congress, and I have a lot of choices here. So I'm going to pick this one to drag and drop. I'm going to move my title up a tiny bit because it's poking the capital. I'm going to make this a tiny bit smaller. So I have my title and I have my icon there, my element to represent what I'm talking about. Okay, so what do I need to do next? I'm going to go back to my instructions, and my instructions tell me, so I've already accomplished this already, so that was easy. Okay, the bulk of your work is going to be in here. You are going to need to include one new word from each section. Remember, this is a section. And then you are going to need 3 essential phrases. And I've already have sentence starters in here. These are not definitions, so please do not turn these into definitions. What were things that you learned? Complete the statement after each one. So I learned, or my opinion is, something about what you read about on these segments, these sections here. All right, and then the next part is going to be the main idea. Now, remember I mentioned to you that there were questions at the bottom. There's also a big idea here. So between the big idea and the questions at the bottom, you shouldn't have any problem coming up with the main idea. So let's revisit this once again. You need a word, you need 3 here, and you need a main idea. So you're going to have 5 sentences pulled from this reading of things that you learn, and you're going to place them in this area. Okay, so this one does have a very large title, so I'm probably going to have to move it and also maybe make it a little smaller. Your titles don't have to be original, just pull them from the title there that's already being used. The National Legislature. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's not picking it up. The National Legislature. Okay, so now I have this part here that's going to be all of my writing. Right now it's at 17 point. You may find that you're going to need to make this element smaller. So I just deleted it because it's not relevant. You may find that you have to delete this because you might need this box a little bigger. So you could manipulate this so your writing is larger, because once you start adding, so we'll just pretend we'll go word and then quote, and then this is where your definition is, and then you're going to have sentence. Get off of the game. You're gonna have your sentence, so you have like one here, and then so like say this is your first sentence, and your second sentence, your third sentence, your fourth sentence, and your fifth sentence. So you can see here how quickly these lines will be taken up, and that's why I would have to make them bigger. And then I also am going to go back just to double check here. Remember I said you need some sort of visual image there. So I'm going to go back to find an element that's going to match. So try and be really brief on what you're writing, because I had somebody type in the entire title, the National Legislature, and nothing popped up because it was just too much. So I'm going to drop this here. That's the one I'm going to use, and I'm going to make it small. So this is my element that's going to represent this. You don't need to number the sentences. I just I put them in there so you could see them. But you're going to go between the writing, between the definitions and the academic language, essential phrases, the main idea, and then you're going to go to your created document. Okay. You have 4 sections here that you're going to look at, and they're all at the bottom here. And you can open those up. If you're working with somebody, you can use the share button up here and type in their email. You'll have to type in the full Montebello email. I haven't had anybody complain yet, so hoping that it will work, but you can share, and it's kind of like sharing a document on Google Docs or on PowerPoint, that kind of concept. But you can see immediately how much I've already just transformed the top there. So you will have to do some moving around on this, but you do have the basic template to work with. Once again, if you are not done with How Washington Works 1, How Washington Works 2, or the game, that's what you should be working on first. And I am not, this is not due until Friday. So you'll have a couple of days to work on this. And I will also reiterate that you can also have a partner with it. Okay.